My sister secretly auditioned for my role and got it. I'm staring at the cast list posted outside the Riverside Community Theater, and my sister's name is there in bold letters next to Elizabeth Bennet. My name isn't anywhere to be found. 3 months. 3 months I spent preparing for this audition. 3 months of character analysis, accent work, and memorizing not just Elizabeth's lines but half the damn play. And Maya knew every single detail because I'd been stupid enough to trust her. Oh my god, Jess. She's suddenly beside me, and I can hear the fake surprise dripping from her voice. I can't believe it. I actually got Elizabeth. I turn to look at my 19-year-old sister, and for the first time in my life, I don't recognize the person standing there. Her dark eyes are bright with excitement, but there's something else lurking underneath, something that looks suspiciously like satisfaction. You auditioned? My voice comes out flat, emotionless. Last-minute decision. She laughs, tucking a strand of her perfectly curled hair behind her ear. Remember when you were at work on Tuesday? I just thought, why not give it a shot? I never expected this though. Tuesday. The day she texted me asking what time my audition was so she could wish me luck. The day she'd insisted on helping me run lines one more time, encouraging me to really lean into Elizabeth's vulnerability, the exact opposite of what I'd spent weeks learning the director, Patricia Holloway, actually wanted. Maya. I keep my voice steady. You told me Patricia wanted a softer, more romantic Elizabeth. You said Jamie Martinez mentioned it after callbacks. Did I? She tilts her head, and there's that look again. Maybe I misunderstood. You know how theater gossip gets twisted around. But I know she didn't misunderstand. Jamie Martinez is Maya's best friend and Patricia's assistant director. Maya had pumped him for information while I was busting my ass working double shifts at the coffee shop to pay for acting classes. When exactly did you decide to audition, Maya? I told you, Tuesday. No. I step closer to her, and she actually takes a step back. When did you really decide? For just a second, her mask slips. I see a flash of something cold, calculating. Then she recovers, painting on that innocent smile she's perfected since we were kids. Jess, you're scaring me. I thought you'd be happy for me. Happy? She wants me to be happy that she's stolen the one thing I've been working towards since I graduated. The role I described to her in detail after my first read-through with Patricia's assistant. The character breakdown I'd shared with her because I was excited, because she's my sister, because I thought she was rooting for me. How long have you been planning this? Planning what? Jess, you're being paranoid. The accent work with Mrs. Chen. The extra dance classes. The new headshots you said were just for fun. Each piece clicks into place as I say it out loud. How long? Maya's smile finally falters completely. When she speaks again, her voice is different. Colder. Since Patricia announced auditions 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks. She'd been systematically undermining me for 6 weeks. The confession hits me like a physical blow. 6 weeks of lies, manipulation, and sabotage from the person I trusted most in the world. 6 weeks, I repeat, my voice barely above a whisper. You've been lying to me for 6 weeks. I wasn't lying, I was just... What? Protecting me? The laugh that comes out of me sounds harsh, foreign. By telling me Patricia wanted a weepy Elizabeth when you knew damn well she was looking for someone fierce? By convincing me to change my entire interpretation 3 days before auditions? Maya glances around nervously. A few other actors are starting to gather around the cast list, their excited chatter creating a bubble of noise around us. She grabs my arm and tries to pull me aside, but I yank away from her touch. Keep your voice down, she hisses. People are staring. Let them stare. But I lower my voice anyway, leaning in close. Tell me about the Bennett family analysis, Maya. The one you helped me write at 2 a.m. last Sunday. Did you write your own version before you helped me with mine? Her silence is answer enough. Jesus Christ. I run my hands through my hair, trying to process the scope of her betrayal. You sabotaged my character work. You fed me wrong information about Patricia's vision. What else? Nothing. Jess, I swear. The rehearsal schedule you said you overheard Jamie talking about. The one that would conflict with my coffee shop shifts. My stomach drops as another piece falls into place. There is no schedule conflict, is there? Maya's face goes pale. How did you? Because I actually talked to Patricia after my audition, you know, like a professional. Asked about scheduling concerns. I shake my head in disbelief. She had no idea what I was talking about. Said rehearsals don't even start until October 15th, and they're all evenings and weekends. Look, I can explain. You made me tell Marcus I couldn't work the Thursday evening shift anymore. Do you have any idea how that looked? I've been trying to prove I'm reliable for months, and you made me look like a flaky prima donna who makes demands before she even gets cast. Maya's jaw tightens. That's not my fault. You didn't have to. Not your fault? My voice rises again despite my efforts. You literally told me Patricia said anyone who couldn't commit to the full rehearsal schedule shouldn't bother auditioning. Maybe you shouldn't have, she snaps, and there it is, the real Maya underneath all the fake concern and sisterly love. Maybe you should have realized this role was out of your league. The words hang in the air between us like a slap. Several people have definitely stopped to watch our drama unfold now, but I can't bring myself to care anymore. Out of my league. I nod slowly. Right. Because I only had a degree in theater performance, and I only spent 2 summers doing Shakespeare in the Park, and I only worked with Patricia on last year's production of Our Town where she specifically told me she wanted to find a role that would challenge my range. Jess. No, you're right. Clearly I was deluding myself. I step back, really looking at her for the first time since I read that cast list. But tell me, Maya, if this role was so obviously meant for you, why did you need to sabotage me to get it? She opens her mouth to respond, but no words come out. For the first time in this entire conversation, my little sister, my manipulative, calculating little sister, has absolutely nothing to say. The silence stretches between us, broken only by the excited chatter of other actors discovering their fates on the cast list. Maya's mouth opens and closes like she's trying to form words that won't come, and I realize I've never seen her truly speechless before. It's almost satisfying. That's what I thought. I turn to walk away, but her voice stops me. Wait. She grabs my wrist, her fingers digging in harder than necessary. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. I whip around to face her. Pressure? Maya, you're 19. You're supposed to be figuring out your major, not destroying your sister's career before it even starts. That's easy for you to say. You got to go to college. You got 4 years to study theater while I was stuck in high school watching everyone else live their lives. Her voice cracks, but I can't tell if it's genuine emotion or just another performance. Do you know what it's like being Jessica Chen's little sister in this town? Don't. I pull my arm free from her grip. Don't you dare make this about me somehow holding you back. I've done nothing but support you since you were 14 and decided you wanted to try acting. Support me? She laughs, but there's no humor in it. You mean like when you convinced Mom and Dad that I should focus on getting into college instead of auditioning for the regional Shakespeare festival last year? My stomach drops. Maya, you were 17. That festival was 3 states away for 6 weeks during your senior year. I was looking out for yourself. Her eyes flash with something ugly. Because you knew I was better than you even then, and you couldn't handle the competition. The accusation hits me like cold water. That's not true. Isn't it? Just like it's not true that you told Patricia I wasn't serious about theater when she asked about me after last year's volunteer work. My blood turns to ice. What are you talking about? March 15th. After the Our Town cast party. Patricia mentioned she'd been impressed with my work on costumes and asked if I'd ever considered auditioning for anything. Maya's smile turned sharp, triumphant. You told her I was just exploring options and that I'd probably end up in business school like Dad wanted. I remember that conversation, but not the way she's telling it. Maya, that's not what happened. She asked if you were planning to study theater, and I said you were still figuring out college. You killed my chances before I even knew I had them. She steps closer, and I can see the anger that's been simmering under her perfect facade. So forgive me if I wasn't willing to let you do it again. So this whole thing, the lies, the sabotage, all of it, this is revenge? This is survival. She glances around, then lowers her voice. You want to know the truth, Jess? I didn't just pump Jamie for information about what Patricia wanted. I asked him to put in a good word for me. And you know what he told me? I don't want to hear this, but I can't seem to make myself walk away. He said Patricia had been hoping I'd audition ever since Our Town, but she didn't think I was interested because someone had given her the impression I wasn't serious about acting. Maya's voice drops to barely above a whisper. Guess who that someone was? My knees feel weak. Maya, I never meant. It doesn't matter what you meant. She straightens up, and suddenly she looks older than 19. Harder. What matters is what you did. And what I had to do to fix it. The cast list flutters in the breeze behind her, and I catch sight of her name again. Elizabeth Bennet. My Elizabeth Bennet. So what now? I ask. You got what you wanted. Was it worth it? Maya studies my face for a long moment, and when she speaks, her voice is completely calm. Ask me again in 6 weeks when rehearsals start. I stare at Maya for another 10 seconds, memorizing this version of my sister, the one who can look me in the eye after systematically destroying months of my work. Then I turn and walk toward the parking lot without another word. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely get my keys in the ignition. 6 weeks. She planned this for 6 weeks, and I was so stupidly grateful for her help the entire time. Every late night she spent helping me run lines, she was actually gathering intelligence. Every piece of advice she gave me was designed to make me fail. The drive home passes in a blur, but instead of going inside, I sit in our driveway and call the one person who might have answers. Jamie? It's Jessica Chen. Oh hey, Jess. His voice is carefully neutral. I saw the cast list went up today. How are you doing? Cut the bullshit, Jamie. I know you helped Maya. Silence. Then, look, I don't know what she told you. She told me everything. About Patricia wanting her to audition since Our Town. About you putting in a good word. About me supposedly telling Patricia that Maya wasn't serious. My voice cracks on the last part. Is that true? Another long pause. Jess, you have to understand the position I was in. Just answer the question. He sighs heavily. Patricia did ask about Maya after the cast party. And you did say she was just exploring options, that she'd probably end up in business like your dad. Those were your exact words. The phone slips in my sweaty palm. But I meant. I know what you meant. We all did. You were being a protective big sister, trying to manage expectations. But Patricia took it as Maya not being committed to theater as a career path. And you told Maya this? She asked me point blank why Patricia never approached her about auditions when she clearly had talent. What was I supposed to do, lie? I leaned my forehead against the steering wheel. So when did she ask you to help her with Elizabeth? About 5 weeks ago. She came to me with this whole plan, said she was going to prove she was serious about acting, that she deserved a real shot. Asked me to tell her everything Patricia was looking for in Elizabeth. 5 weeks ago. Right around the time Maya started being extra helpful with my preparation. And you didn't think to mention that I was also auditioning for the same role? Of course I knew. But Jess. Jamie's voice gets uncomfortable. Maya said you two had talked about it. That you were both auditioning and may the best actress win. She made it sound like some kind of friendly sister competition. My laugh comes out bitter. Friendly. Right. She said you were the one who suggested she audition. That you wanted to push each other to do better work. The scope of Maya's manipulation is staggering. Not only did she sabotage me, but she managed to make herself look generous and collaborative while doing it. Jamie, did she ask you for anything else? Any other inside information? Well. He hesitates. She wanted to know about Patricia's pet peeves. What kind of choices annoyed her in auditions? My stomach sinks. And? I told her Patricia hates when actors make Elizabeth too weepy or passive. She's looking for fire, intelligence, someone who can match wits with Darcy. He pauses. Why? What did Maya tell you Patricia wanted? The exact opposite. I closed my eyes. She told me Patricia wanted vulnerability and romanticism. That I should tone down Elizabeth's sharp edges. Jesus Christ. Jamie's voice drops. Jess, I had no idea she was feeding you bad information. I swear to God, I thought you both knew what you were doing. There's more, isn't there? I can hear it in his voice. She asked me not to tell anyone she was auditioning. Said she wanted it to be a surprise, especially for you. Made it sound like some kind of birthday gift or something. A surprise. Maya turned sabotaging my audition into a cute surprise she was planning for me. When's her birthday, Jamie? What? I don't know, why? Maya's birthday is in February. It's August. The silence on the other end tells me everything I need to know. Jamie's finally putting the pieces together, realizing how thoroughly Maya played him too. Shit, he whispers. Jess, I'm so sorry. I never meant. I know. I end the call before he can finish apologizing. I sit in my car staring at our house, watching Maya's silhouette move past her bedroom window. She's probably already texting her friends about getting the role, basking in congratulations and praise. My phone buzzes with a text from Mom. How did auditions go, honey? Maya said she had exciting news to share at dinner. Of course she does. I walk into the house to find Maya in the kitchen with Mom, her face glowing as she recounts her spontaneous audition success. Mom's making her celebratory chocolate chip cookies, Maya's favorite since she was 7. Jess. Mom beams at me. Can you believe it? Both my girls auditioned for the same play. Maya was just telling me how proud she is that you pushed her to try out. I freeze in the doorway. She said what? Maya doesn't even have the decency to look uncomfortable. I was just explaining how you've been such an inspiration, always talking about Elizabeth Bennet and how complex the character is. You made the role sound so fascinating that I couldn't resist giving it a shot. Isn't that sweet? Mom pulls the tray from the oven. I love how supportive you two are of each other's dreams. The smell of vanilla and chocolate that usually makes my mouth water now makes me nauseous. Maya's rewriting history in real time, turning herself into my grateful protege instead of my saboteur. Where's Dad? I ask, not trusting myself to respond to Mom's comment about our supposed mutual support. Conference call with Hong Kong. He should be done by 7. Mom starts transferring cookies to a cooling rack. Maya wanted to wait until dinner to give you both the big news together, but I couldn't keep it to myself once she told me. What big news? Though I already know I'm not going to like the answer. Maya's smile gets impossibly brighter. Patricia asked me to understudy Lydia Bennet too. She said it was unusual for a first-time actor, but she was so impressed with my range during callbacks that she wants me to learn both parts. My vision actually blurs for a second. Callbacks? Thursday afternoon. Didn't I mention it? Maya tilts her head with fake innocence. Patricia called Tuesday night and asked me to come back. She wanted to see me read with different Darcys. Thursday afternoon. When I was working my shift at Grind Coffee, the shift I specifically asked Marcus for because Maya told me Patricia preferred morning auditions for leads. The shift I thought would give me time to rest my voice before what I believed was a 7 p.m. callback time. What time was your callback, Maya? 2:30. Why? The same time I was making lattes and pretending everything was fine while my throat felt raw from the morning's audition. Patricia had wanted to see me again too. Marcus mentioned a woman had called the shop around noon asking for me, but I'd assumed it was a customer complaint. Mom, I say carefully, did anyone call the house Thursday afternoon? Around noon or 1 o'clock? Actually, yes. Some woman from the theater. I told her you were at work and gave her the coffee shop number. Mom looks between Maya and me, finally sensing tension. Was that important? Maya's face goes pale, but she recovers quickly. Oh, that was probably just Patricia confirming my callback time. You know how organized she is. But I know better now. Patricia had tried to reach me for a callback, probably at the same time she called Maya. And Maya knew, she had to have known, because she would have heard Mom's conversation, heard the phone number being given out. Maya. My voice is deadly calm. What time did Patricia actually call you Tuesday night? What do you mean? You said she called Tuesday night to schedule your Thursday callback. What time? Maya glances at Mom, who's watching our exchange with growing confusion. Around 9, I think. That's weird, because I was home Tuesday night. We ordered pizza, remember? Watched that Netflix documentary about cult leaders until almost 11. I stepped closer to the kitchen island. I never heard your phone ring. Maybe you were in the bathroom, or... Maya, I was sitting right next to you on the couch when the pizza arrived at 9:15. Your phone didn't ring once all evening. Mom sets down her spatula. Girls, what's going on here? Maya's carefully constructed story is falling apart, and we all know it. But instead of coming clean, she doubles down. Fine, maybe it was Wednesday morning. I don't remember every little detail, Jess. I was excited. She turns to Mom with tears building in her eyes, actual tears, perfectly timed. I'm sorry, I can't recall the exact timestamp of every phone call. I thought my own sister would be happy for me, but apparently I was wrong. And just like that, Maya makes herself the victim again. Mom's expression shifts from confusion to concern, and I can see her getting ready to lecture me about supporting family. But I'm done playing Maya's games. Mom, I need to show you something. I pull out my phone and scroll to Tuesday night's text thread. Maya texted me at 9:47 p.m. asking what time my audition was so she could wish me luck. If Patricia had already called her about a callback by then, why was she asking about my initial audition time? Mom looks at the phone, then at Maya, who's gone completely silent. And here, I scroll down further. Wednesday at 6:32 a.m., she texted asking if I wanted her to drive me to auditions for moral support. If she already had her own callback scheduled for Thursday, wouldn't she have mentioned it? Maybe I forgot. You forgot you had a callback for the lead role in Pride and Prejudice? I laugh harshly. The same role you've supposedly been dreaming about since I started talking about it? Mom's face is shifting as she processes the timeline. She's an accountant, she notices when numbers don't add up. Maya, Mom's voice is careful now. When exactly did you decide to audition? I told you, it was spontaneous. Because I found something interesting when I called Mrs. Chen's acting studio this morning. I hadn't actually called, but Maya's face tells me I'm about to hit gold. Want to guess when you signed up for private coaching sessions? Maya's tears dry up instantly. You called Mrs. Chen? July 18th, Maya. 3 days after auditions were announced. You've been taking twice weekly private lessons for a month, specifically focusing on English accent work and Regent Sierra character development. I turn to Mom. Does that sound spontaneous to you? Mom sinks into one of the kitchen chairs. Maya, honey, what's going on here? It's not what she's making it sound like. And the headshots, I continue. The professional ones you said were just for fun? I called Robertson Photography. You booked that session on July 22nd and specifically requested theatrical headshots suitable for period drama auditions. You paid $300, Maya. Where did you get $300? The kitchen falls silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. Maya's looking anywhere but at Mom's face, and I can see her calculating her next move. I saved up from babysitting the Morrison kids, she finally says. The Morrisons are in Europe all summer. Have been since June 15th. I pull up Facebook on my phone. See? Here's Mrs. Morrison's post from their villa in Tuscany, dated last week. Mom's face goes white. Maya Elizabeth Chen. Where did you get that money? I borrowed it. From who? Maya's silence stretches so long that I start to wonder if she's going to answer at all. When she finally speaks, her voice is barely audible. From Jess's savings jar. The words hit me like a physical blow. What? The mason jar in your closet. Behind your winter coats. I borrowed $300. My savings jar. The one where I've been putting aside tips from the coffee shop for months, saving up for new headshots and maybe a few professional workshops in the city. Money I've been carefully hoarding while working double shifts and eating ramen for dinner most nights. You stole from me. My voice comes out hollow. You stole my money to pay for headshots so you could steal my role. I was going to pay you back. With what? You don't have a job, Maya. You don't have any income. I turn to Mom, who looks like she's about to be sick. She used my own money to sabotage me. Mom stands up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. Maya, go to your room. Now. Mom, please, let me explain. Now. Maya's mask finally crumbles completely. This isn't fair. Nobody cares about what I want, what I need. It's always about perfect Jessica and her perfect plans. Room. Now. We'll discuss this after your father gets off his call. Maya storms out, but not before shooting me a look of pure hatred. Her footsteps thunder up the stairs, and seconds later her bedroom door slams hard enough to rattle the windows. Mom and I sit in the terrible silence, surrounded by the smell of chocolate chip cookies that now feel like evidence of how thoroughly Maya played us all. Mom, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, I say quietly, watching her stare at the cooling cookies like they might hold answers. $300. She shakes her head slowly. Jessica, why didn't you tell me she took your money? Because I didn't know until 5 minutes ago. I sink into the chair across from her. I haven't checked that jar in weeks. I've been so focused on audition prep that I didn't even think about it. Mom's phone buzzes on the counter. She glances at it and frowns. It's Mrs. Patterson from next door. She's asking if Maya got the lead role she was working so hard for all summer. Mom looks up at me. All summer, Jess. Maya's been telling the neighbors she was preparing for this audition since June. My stomach twists. What else has she been telling people? I don't know, but I'm starting to wonder. Mom picks up her phone and starts scrolling. She posted something on Instagram 3 weeks ago about putting in the work for my dreams. I thought she meant college applications. She shows me Maya's Instagram story highlights. There's a video from July 28th of Maya in our backyard, practicing what looks like Elizabeth's rejection scene with Darcy. The caption reads, when your sister inspires you to chase your own dreams, red heart hashtag Elizabeth Bennett hashtag work in progress hashtag sister goals. She tagged Patricia Holloway in this, Mom says quietly. My blood runs cold. What? Look at the tags. Patricia's username is right there. Mom scrolls to another post from August 3rd, Maya at Mrs. Chen's acting studio, caption private coaching pays off. Some dreams are worth the investment, flexed biceps hashtag dedication moment hashtag Pride and Prejudice hashtag community theater. She's been building a public narrative, I realize. Making it look like she's been working toward this for months, completely separate from anything I was doing. Mom keeps scrolling. Oh honey, there's more. Look at this one from 2 weeks ago. It's a photo of Maya holding my Pride and Prejudice script, the one with all my notes and character analysis written in the margins. The caption makes my skin crawl, grateful for my amazing sister who shared her insights and encouraged me to audition. Performing arts competition makes us both stronger. Hashtag sister love hashtag theater. She's been documenting her theft, I whisper. Every lie, every manipulation, she turned it into social media content. Mom's face has gone from pale to gray. Jessica, how many people do you think have seen these posts? I check the view counts. My heart sinks. The July video has 847 views. The one with my script has over 400 likes. Including people from the theater community? I scroll through the comments and feel sick. Jamie Martinez liked the post. So did 3 other cast members from our town. Even Patricia's assistant director left a comment, love seeing young artists support each other. Performing arts. Mom, she's made it impossible for me to tell anyone the truth. Look at this evidence she's created, it looks like I was mentoring her, like we planned this together. My voice cracks. If I try to expose what really happened, everyone will think I'm just bitter about losing the role to my supportive little sister. Mom sets her phone down with shaking hands. There has to be something we can do. Like what? Go to Patricia and tell her Maya stole my money and lied about everything? Maya will just show her these posts and say I'm trying to sabotage her out of jealousy. I laugh bitterly. She's already got character witnesses who think she's been working on Elizabeth for weeks with my blessing. The front door opens, and Dad's voice carries from the hallway. I'm home. Sorry that call ran long. Hong Kong had some questions about the quarterly projections. Mom and I look at each other. She still looks shell-shocked, and I can practically see her trying to figure out how to explain this mess to Dad. Should we tell him now? I ask. Tell me what? Dad appears in the kitchen doorway, loosening his tie. His eyes immediately go to Mom's face. Helen, what's wrong? You look upset. David, sit down. We need to talk about Maya. Dad's expression shifts from tired to concerned. Is she okay? Where is she? She's in her room. And no, she's not okay. None of this is okay. Mom gestures helplessly at the cookies, at her phone, at the space where Maya was standing 20 minutes ago. Our daughter has been lying to us for months. Dad takes the news about as well as I expected, which is to say he goes completely silent for about 3 minutes while Mom and I take turns explaining everything. His face cycles through confusion, disbelief, and finally a kind of cold anger I've only seen a handful of times in my life. She stole $300, he says finally, his voice deadly quiet. From her sister. To pay for headshots. To audition for a role she was actively sabotaging Jessica's chances of getting. That's the simplified version, yes, Mom says. Dad runs his hands through his hair. And she's been planning this since July? Earlier than that, I say, pulling up Maya's Instagram again. Look at this post from June 28th. I show him a picture Maya took at the library, surrounded by what I now realize are Pride and Prejudice adaptations and Regency romance novels. The caption reads, Research mode activated books, big dreams require big preparation. Hashtag study time, hashtag classic literature, hashtag secret project. Dad stares at the post for a long moment. June 28th. That's 2 weeks after auditions were announced. And 3 weeks before she started asking me detailed questions about Elizabeth's character arc, I add. She was gathering intelligence from day one. Jesus Christ. Dad hardly ever swears, so hearing him drop the Lord's name tells me exactly how furious he is. Helen, did you know about any of this? The acting classes, the headshots, any of it? Of course not. She told me she was doing SAT prep at the library most of those afternoons. Said she wanted to improve her math scores before applying to colleges. Mom's voice cracks. David, she looked me in the eye every single day and lied. The sound of Maya's bedroom door opening upstairs makes us all freeze. Her footsteps are deliberately loud as she comes down the stairs. She wants us to know she's coming, probably hoping to overhear what we're saying about her. Jessica? Maya's voice carries from the living room. Can we talk? I think there's been a misunderstanding. Dad and Mom exchange looks. Dad nods toward the kitchen doorway. In here, Maya, he calls. We're all going to talk. Maya appears in the doorway, and I'm struck by how different she looks now. The triumphant glow from this afternoon is completely gone, replaced by red-rimmed eyes and a calculated vulnerability that makes my skin crawl. She's changed into her old high school drama club t-shirt, the one from sophomore year when she played Emily Webb in our town. The shirt that's 2 sizes too big and makes her look younger, more innocent. Even now, even caught red-handed, she's still performing. Daddy, she says, and her voice breaks just slightly on the word. I know how this looks, but I can explain everything. Sit down. Dad's tone brooks no argument. Maya sits across from me, carefully not making eye contact. I know you're all upset about the money, and you have every right to be. I should have asked permission before borrowing from Jess's savings. Borrowing, Dad repeats flatly. I was always going to pay it back. I just needed it temporarily, for the headshots, and I knew Jess would want to help me succeed if she knew how serious I was about acting. Maya's voice gets stronger, more confident as she builds her narrative. I was going to surprise everyone by getting the role and then reveal how much work I'd put in. I thought it would make Jess proud. Proud, I echo, incredulous. Maya, you sabotaged my audition. You gave me wrong information about what Patricia wanted. You made me change my entire interpretation 3 days before. I never told you to change anything. Maya's mask slips for just a second, revealing a flash of anger. I gave you my opinion about the character, and you chose to take it. That's not sabotage, that's you second-guessing yourself. Dad leans forward. Maya, your sister says you told her Patricia wanted a softer, more romantic Elizabeth. Is that true? I said I thought that interpretation might work well. I never claimed to know what Patricia definitely wanted. Maya finally looks at me, and her expression is almost pitying. Jess, you're a good actress, but you've always struggled with confidence. Maybe that's what hurt your audition, not anything I said. The gaslighting is so smooth, so practiced, that for a split second I almost doubt my own memory. Almost. What about the callback? Mom asks. The one you claim Patricia called you about Tuesday night? Maya's hesitation is barely perceptible. She called Wednesday morning. I misspoke earlier, I was emotional about getting the role. What time Wednesday morning? Dad asks. Around 10, I think. I pull out my phone. Maya, you texted me at 10:23 a.m. Wednesday asking if I wanted you to pick up my dry cleaning while you were out. If you'd just gotten a call back from Patricia, wouldn't that have been the first thing you mentioned? Maya stares at my phone screen, and I watch her realize she's trapped. But instead of admitting defeat, she tries a different approach. Fine, she says, straightening up. You want the whole truth? Patricia called me Monday night, right after your audition. She said she was impressed with my volunteer work last year and asked if I'd be interested in auditioning for Elizabeth. The lie is so audacious that even Dad looks stunned. She specifically mentioned that she thought I might bring something fresh to the role, something different from other local actresses she'd worked with. Maya's eyes flicked to me meaningfully. I didn't want to tell anyone because I was afraid of the pressure, afraid of letting people down if I didn't get it. So you decided to sabotage me instead? I ask. I decided to focus on my own preparation instead of worrying about competition. Maya shrugs. If you'd gotten the role, I would have been happy for you. But I wasn't going to hold myself back just to protect your feelings. The casual cruelty of it takes my breath away. Dad's face goes completely still. Maya, are you telling us that Patricia Holloway specifically recruited you for this role? That's what I said. Maya's chin lifts defiantly. Then you won't mind if we call her to confirm that. Dad reaches for his phone. I have her number from when Jessica worked on our town last year. For the first time since sitting down, Maya looks genuinely panicked. You can't just call her. She's probably busy with. With what? It's 7:30 on a Friday evening. Dad's finger hovers over his contacts. If she personally recruited you on Monday night, she'll remember that conversation. Dad, please don't. Maya's voice cracks. It'll look unprofessional, like our family can't handle success without drama. But Dad's already dialing. The kitchen fills with the sound of the phone ringing on speaker. Hello, this is Patricia. Hi Patricia, this is David Chen, Jessica's father. I hope I'm not interrupting your evening. Not at all. I was just reviewing blocking notes. How can I help you? Dad looks directly at Maya. I'm calling about the Elizabeth Bennet casting. My daughter Maya mentioned that you reached out to her personally about auditioning. I wanted to thank you for recognizing her talent. There's a pause on the other end. I'm sorry, which daughter are we talking about? I know Jessica auditioned, and she did lovely work, but I don't recall reaching out to anyone personally about this role. Maya's face drains of color. Maya, Dad clarifies. She said you called Monday night after Jessica's audition to encourage her to try out for Elizabeth. Another pause, longer this time. Mr. Chan, I think there might be some confusion. I never called Maya about auditioning. In fact, I was surprised to see her name on the audition list when it came through my assistant. Pleasant surprise, of course, her work on costumes last year was excellent, but definitely unexpected. Dad's eyes never leave Maya's face. I see. And when exactly did you become aware that Maya was interested in auditioning? When she showed up Tuesday morning for the general auditions. She was actually one of the last people to sign up, squeezed in right before we closed the list. Tuesday morning. Not Monday night, not weeks of secret planning. Tuesday morning, the day after my audition, when Maya realized she had a window of opportunity. One more question, Patricia. Did you happen to try calling our house Thursday afternoon about callbacks? Oh yes. I wanted to bring Jessica back to read with a few different actors, but when I called the coffee shop, they said she wasn't available for callbacks until evening. Since I'd already scheduled all the Thursday callbacks for afternoon, we unfortunately couldn't make it work with her schedule. Maya closes her eyes. I see, Dad says quietly. Thank you for clarifying, Patricia. We'll let you get back to your blocking notes. Of course. And congratulations to Maya, she really impressed us in her callback. Natural talent runs in the family, clearly. Dad hangs up and sets his phone on the table with deliberate care. The silence in the kitchen is suffocating. Tuesday morning, Mom says finally. You decided Tuesday morning. Maya's shoulders start shaking. I can explain. No. Dad's voice cuts to her attempted response. No more explanations. No more lies. He turns to Mom. Helen, call Marcus at the coffee shop. Find out exactly what time someone called asking for Jessica on Thursday, and exactly what Maya told whoever answered the phone about Jessica's availability. Dad, please. You stole money from your sister. You lied to our faces for weeks. You manipulated a 19-year-old kid into giving you inside information, and you sabotaged Jessica's callback by lying about her schedule. Dad stands up, towering over the table. And even now, even caught in lie after lie, you're still trying to manipulate us. Maya finally breaks, tears streaming down her face. But I notice she's watching Dad's reaction carefully, calibrating her response. I just wanted something for myself, she whispers. Just once. Maya's whispered confession hangs in the air, and I watch our parents' faces cycle through emotions I've never seen before. Dad's jaw is so tight I'm worried he might crack a tooth. Something for yourself, he repeats slowly. By destroying your sister's opportunities. That's not what I meant to do. Stop. Mom's voice is sharper than I've ever heard it. David, call Marcus. I want to know exactly what happened with that callback. Dad dials the coffee shop while Maya sits frozen, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Marcus answers on the second ring. Hey Mr. Chin. How'd Jessica's audition go? She seemed pretty nervous about it. That's actually what I'm calling about, Marcus. Did anyone call Thursday afternoon asking for Jessica? Yeah, around 1 o'clock. Some woman from the theater wanted to schedule a callback, but Jessica's sister had already told me that morning that Jessica couldn't work evenings anymore because of rehearsal conflicts. Marcus pauses. The lady seemed confused, said rehearsals weren't starting for weeks, but I figured Jessica knew her own schedule better than some stranger, you know? Maya's face goes white as fresh snow. Maya told you Jessica couldn't work evenings? Dad's voice is dangerously quiet. Tuesday morning when Jessica left for her audition. Maya came in around 10 with coffee for everyone, super sweet of her, actually, and mentioned that Jessica might need to adjust her availability soon. Said something about how dedicated Jessica was, how she'd probably get a callback but might have to choose between the job and her theater dreams. My stomach drops. Maya had gone to my workplace and preemptively sabotaged my scheduling flexibility, making me look like an unreliable employee who made demands before even landing a role. So when the theater lady called, I told her Jessica was committed to her day shifts but couldn't do evenings. Seemed like I was helping Jessica stick to her priorities, you know? Dad's knuckles are white around his phone. Thank you, Marcus. That's very helpful. After he hangs up, the silence stretches until Maya finally speaks. I was trying to protect you from overcommitting, she says desperately. Jess, you always take on too much, spread yourself too thin. By lying to my boss about schedule conflicts that didn't exist? I thought if you got the role, you'd need the flexibility anyway. But you were making sure I wouldn't get the role, I interrupt. Maya, you went to my workplace and undermined my professional reputation based on a lie. Do you understand what you've done to my relationship with Marcus? Mom stands up abruptly. I need air. David, handle this. I can't. She walks out the back door, leaving it open behind her. Dad watches her go, then turns back to Maya with an expression I've never seen before, like he's looking at a stranger. Maya, I want you to understand something. Your mother and I have spent 22 years raising Jessica to be honest, hardworking, and trustworthy. We spent 19 years trying to instill the same values in you. His voice gets quieter, more controlled. In the span of 6 weeks, you've destroyed more trust than most people lose in a lifetime. I know I messed up, but this isn't messing up. This is calculated deception. Dad sits back down, suddenly looking exhausted. The money, the lies, manipulating Jamie, sabotaging Jessica's callback, going to her workplace, Maya, this is sociopathic behavior. The word hangs in the air like a slap. Maya flinches as if she's been physically struck. I'm not a sociopath, she whispers. I'm your daughter. Then start acting like it, Dad says quietly. Because right now, I don't recognize the person sitting at this table. Outside, I can see Mom pacing the backyard, her phone pressed to her ear. Probably calling her sister for advice on how to handle a child who systematically destroyed her siblings' dreams. Maya follows my gaze and seems to crumble further. What happens now? She asks in a small voice. Dad and I exchange looks. For the first time in this whole nightmare, I realize I'm not the only victim here. Maya's actions have shattered our entire family. What happens now is you're going to fix this, Dad says, his voice steady but cold. All of it. Maya looks up hopefully, like she thinks she's getting off easy. She has no idea what's coming. First, you're going to call Patricia tomorrow morning and withdraw from the production. What? Maya's voice cracks. Dad, no, you can't make me. I'm not making you do anything. You're going to choose to do the right thing for once. Dad's tone doesn't change. You're going to tell Patricia that you realized you're not ready for this level of commitment, and you're going to recommend that she offer the role to her second choice. That's not how casting works, Maya protests. She can't just give it to someone else. Then she'll recast. But you're not keeping a role you obtained through fraud. Dad turns to me. Jessica, do you know who else auditioned for Elizabeth? Sarah Martinez was really good, I say quietly. And Emma Lou. Either of them could handle it. Maya's tears start fresh. You're ruining my life over a stupid community theater show. No, Dad corrects. You ruined your own life. I'm trying to save what's left of your integrity. But everyone will ask questions. They'll want to know why I'm dropping out. That's your problem to solve. Dad stands up and opens the junk drawer, pulling out a notepad and pen. You're also going to write a formal apology letter to Jessica, and another one to Jamie Martinez explaining how you manipulated him. Maya stares at the notepad like it's a snake. I can't tell Jamie what I did. He'll never trust me again. Good. He shouldn't trust you. You used him. Dad sets the pen down harder than necessary. And you're going to delete every single Instagram post related to this whole scheme. Tonight. Those posts show months of work. Those posts show months of deception. Delete them. I watch Maya's face cycle through desperation, anger, and calculation. She's still trying to find an angle, still looking for a way to minimize the damage to herself. What about the money? She asks quietly. You're going to pay Jessica back every penny. With interest. Dad crosses his arms. 20% interest, compounded monthly until it's fully repaid. I don't have a job. Then you'd better find one. Mrs. Patterson next door has been looking for someone to help with her yard work. And the library always needs volunteers who might eventually get hired for paid positions. Dad's voice gets harder. You created this mess, Maya. You get to dig yourself out of it. Mom comes back inside, her face red from crying. She's holding her phone, and something about her expression makes my stomach clench. Helen? Dad notices her face immediately. What's wrong? I just got off the phone with Mrs. Chin. Mom's voice is hollow. Maya's acting teacher. Maya goes completely still. She wanted to congratulate Maya on getting the role, said she was so proud of how hard Maya had worked. Mom looks directly at her younger daughter. But she also mentioned something interesting about payment. Mom, Maya starts, but Mom holds up a hand. Mrs. Chin said Maya told her that Jessica was paying for the lessons as a surprise birthday gift. Said it was so sweet how supportive our family is of each other's dreams. Mom's voice breaks slightly. Maya, how much money did you actually steal? The question hangs in the air like a bomb waiting to explode. Maya's face tells us everything we need to know before she even opens her mouth. The lessons were $800, she whispers. $1,100. Maya stole $1,100 from me. Dad sinks back into his chair like he's been punched. Jesus Christ, Maya. The number hits me like a physical blow. $1,100. Almost 4 months of tips and careful saving, gone. $800 for lessons, I say slowly, my voice sounding distant to my own ears. $300 for headshots. Maya, that's more than I make in a month at the coffee shop. I was going to pay it all back once I got established. Established? Dad's voice rises for the first time tonight. Maya, you're 19 years old with no job, no income, and apparently no conscience. How exactly were you planning to pay back $1,100? Maya's mouth opens and closes, but no sound comes out. For once, she doesn't have a ready lie. Mom sits down heavily, still staring at her phone. Mrs. Chen also mentioned that Maya asked about intensive weekend workshops in the city. Said she was exploring options for advanced training and wanted to know about payment plans. My blood turns to ice. Maya, how much more were you planning to steal from me? Nothing. I was just asking about prices. Because you thought you'd have access to more of my money after you got the role, I finish. You were planning to keep stealing from me to fund your entire theater career. That's not what I was doing. But her protest sounds weak even to her own ears. Dad pulls out his phone and starts typing. What are you doing? Maya asks nervously. Texting your Aunt Linda. You're going to spend the rest of the summer in Sacramento, helping her with the restaurant. Dad doesn't look up from his phone. She needs extra help during lunch rushes, and the work will give you a chance to start paying Jessica back. Maya's face goes white. You're sending me away? I'm giving you an opportunity to learn what honest work feels like, Dad corrects. Linda pays minimum wage plus tips for bussing tables and food prep. If you work full-time for the next 3 weeks before school starts, you might earn enough to cover the headshots. What about the play? Even if I drop out, I still need to give him notice. You'll call Patricia first thing tomorrow morning, Mom says quietly. Before you pack. Maya looks between our parents with growing panic. This is insane. You're destroying my entire summer over money that I was always planning to pay back. Stop. I stand up so fast my chair scrapes against the floor. Just stop, Maya. Stop pretending this was some noble plan that went wrong. You systematically destroyed months of my work, stole my money, manipulated my friend, sabotaged my job, and cost me a role I earned fair and square. My voice gets louder with each word. And even now, you're still trying to make yourself the victim. I am a victim. You have no idea what it's like living in your shadow, watching everyone praise perfect Jessica while I'm just a little sister. Then you should have worked harder to build your own reputation instead of destroying mine. The kitchen falls silent except for our heavy breathing. Maya looks genuinely shocked, like she's never considered that option before. Dad's phone buzzes. He glances at it and nods grimly. Linda can pick you up tomorrow afternoon. She'll drive down after the lunch rush. Dad, please, I'll do anything else. Maya, this conversation is over. His voice has gone completely flat. Go pack. One suitcase. And if I find out you've taken anything else that doesn't belong to you, you'll be staying in Sacramento until Christmas. Maya sits frozen for another moment, then pushes back from the table with enough force to make the salt shaker fall over. Fine. But don't expect me to thank you for ruining my life. She storms toward the stairs, but Dad's voice stops her. Maya. She turns around, tears streaming down her face. If your life is ruined, it's because of choices you made. Not consequences we're giving you. She runs upstairs, and her bedroom door slams hard enough to rattle the dishes in the cabinet. The next morning, I wake up to the sound of Maya's voice drifting through the walls. She's on the phone, and something about her tone makes me freeze with my hand on the bedroom door handle. I know it's sudden, but my family is going through a crisis right now, she's saying, her voice thick with carefully manufactured tears. My sister is having some kind of breakdown about not getting the role, and my parents think it's better if I step back from the production until things calm down at home. My blood runs cold. She's talking to Patricia. No, Jessica isn't dangerous or anything like that, Maya continues, and I can practically hear her shaking her head for emphasis. She's always struggled with rejection, you know? And she's convinced herself that I somehow sabotaged her audition, which is absolutely crazy, but when she gets an idea in her head. I yank open my door and storm down the hallway toward Maya's room, but her door is locked. I can still hear every word through the thin walls. I feel terrible about withdrawing, especially since you took a chance on someone so inexperienced. But I can't focus on Elizabeth when my own sister thinks I'm some kind of master manipulator. Maya's voice breaks perfectly on cue. Maybe in a few months, when she's gotten some help. Maya. I bang on her door. Open this door right now. The phone conversation stops abruptly. After a moment, I hear Maya's muffled voice. I'm sorry, Patricia, that's her now. I should probably go before this gets worse. The door opens, and Maya stands there with her phone in her hand, her face streaked with tears that I know are completely fake. How dare you, I breathe. Jessica, I was trying to protect both of us. You just told Patricia I'm having a mental breakdown. My voice echoes down the hallway. You made it sound like I'm unstable and delusional. Maya glances toward our parents' bedroom. Keep your voice down. Mom and Dad are finally sleeping. I don't care if I wake up the entire neighborhood. I push past her into her room, where her suitcase is open on the bed, neatly packed. Maya, do you understand what you just did? You didn't just withdraw from the play, you salted the earth. You made sure that even if the truth comes out, no one will believe me because you've already established that I'm crazy. Maya sits on her bed, still holding her phone. I had to give Patricia a reason that wouldn't raise questions about the casting process. So you decided to destroy my reputation in the theater community? I laugh bitterly. Jesus, Maya, even when you're trying to fix things, you're still sabotaging me. I was protecting you too. If I'd told her the truth, it would have made you look like a victim, like you couldn't handle fair competition. It wasn't fair competition. You stole from me, you lied, you manipulated everyone around us. I grab her phone before she can stop me. Call her back. Right now. Tell her the truth. Jessica, give me my phone. Call her back and tell her that you lied, that you sabotaged my audition, and that I'm not having any kind of breakdown. I hold the phone above my head, out of her reach. Do it, or I swear to God, Maya, I will call her myself and tell her everything, including the fact that you just lied to her about my mental health. Maya lunges for the phone, and we both go tumbling onto her bed, scattering her carefully folded clothes. In the struggle, her phone goes flying and hits the wall with a sickening crack. Now look what you did. Maya scrambles to pick up her phone, and I can see spider web cracks across the screen. What I did? I stare at her in disbelief. Maya, you just spent 10 minutes convincing the most influential person in our local theater scene that I'm mentally unstable, and you're worried about your phone? Maya's bedroom door flies open, and Dad appears in his bathrobe, looking like he hasn't slept all night. What the hell is going on in here? Jessica broke my phone, Maya says immediately, holding up the cracked device. She attacked me, Anne. She called Patricia and told her I'm having a mental breakdown. I interrupt. Dad, she made it sound like I'm delusional and obsessed, like the reason she's dropping out is because I can't handle losing fairly. Dad's face goes through several expressions before settling on a kind of exhausted fury I've never seen before. Maya, please tell me you did not just lie to Patricia Holloway about your sister's mental health. Maya's silence is answer enough. Get Aunt Linda on the phone, Dad says quietly. Tell her the pickup time just moved to noon. You're leaving today. The silence stretches until Mom appears in the doorway, still in her pajamas, her face puffy from crying. What's happening now? Her voice sounds defeated, like she's aged 10 years overnight. Maya just called Patricia and told her that Jessica is having a mental breakdown, Dad says flatly. That she's withdrawing from the play because Jessica can't handle rejection and thinks Maya sabotaged her. Mom closes her eyes and leans against the doorframe. Maya, please tell me that's not true. I had to give her some explanation. The truth. Mom's voice cracks. You could have told her the truth. The truth would have ruined everything for both of us, Maya protests. At least this way, when Jess auditions for future shows, people will just think she had a rough patch, not that she's incompetent. Are you listening to yourself? I stare at my sister like she's grown a second head. Maya, you just told the director of every major production in this county that I have mental health issues. Do you think that's going to help my future auditions? Maya's face crumbles. I was trying to protect us both. Stop saying that. Dad's voice booms through the small room. Maya, you are not protecting anyone. You are making everything worse with every single word that comes out of your mouth. My phone starts buzzing in my pocket. Unknown number. Hello? Jessica? This is Patricia Holloway. I hope I'm not calling too early. My stomach drops. I can feel everyone in the room tense up. No, not at all. Hi, Patricia. I just got off the phone with your sister, and I'm quite concerned. She mentioned you're going through a difficult time, and I wanted to reach out directly. Patricia's voice is gentle, concerned. I know audition results can be disappointing, but I want you to know that your work on Tuesday was really lovely. Sometimes casting comes down to factors that have nothing to do with talent. I close my eyes, feeling the weight of Maya's lie settling over my future like a shroud. Patricia, I also wanted to let you know that we'd love to have you read for Jane Bennett if you're interested. I know it's not the lead, but it's a beautiful role, and after seeing your audition, I think you'd bring something special to Elizabeth's relationship with her sister. The irony is so sharp it physically hurts. She wants me to play the kind, supportive sister. That's very generous of you, I manage, acutely aware of my family listening to every word. Can I have some time to think about it? Of course. Take all the time you need. And Jessica? If you ever need someone to talk to about the pressures of this industry, my door is always open. I've been where you are. After I hang up, the room stays silent for a long moment. She offered you Jane, Mom says quietly. Out of pity. I look at Maya, who's staring at her broken phone. Because she thinks I'm fragile and need to be handled with kid gloves. Dad runs his hands through his hair. Maya, do you understand what you've done? You branded Jessica as unstable in a community where reputation is everything. I can fix it, Maya says desperately. When I get back from Aunt Linda's, I'll tell everyone the truth, I'll explain. With what credibility? I laugh harshly. Maya, you've been lying to everyone for months. Why would they believe you now, especially when you'll be admitting to even worse behavior? Maya's face goes white as she finally grasps the scope of what she's done. She hasn't just sabotaged my current opportunity, she's potentially damaged my reputation for years to come. I didn't mean for it to get this complicated, she whispers. Intent doesn't matter anymore, Dad says coldly. Pack faster. Linda will be here in 2 hours. 2 hours later, I'm standing in our driveway watching Aunt Linda load Maya's suitcase into her Toyota Camry. Maya looks smaller somehow, deflated in a way I've never seen before. The confidence, the calculation, the performance, it's all gone, replaced by something that might actually be genuine remorse. Jessica, she says quietly, approaching me while Aunt Linda talks to Dad by the front door. I know you probably never want to see me again, but I need you to know, I'm going to fix this. All of it. I study her face, looking for signs of manipulation. How? When I get back, I'm going to call Patricia and tell her the truth. Everything. About the money, the lies, Jamie, all of it. Maya's voice is steady now, different from the desperate pleading of this morning. I'm going to tell her that you never had any kind of breakdown, that I made that up because I was scared. Maya, that'll destroy any chance you have of working in theater here again. She nods. I know. But it's the only way to undo what I did to your reputation. She pauses, looking down at her cracked phone. And I'm going to post something on Instagram too. A real apology, not some performative bullshit. I'm going to admit that I manipulated everyone and that you had nothing to do with any of it. Despite everything, I feel a flicker of something that might be hope. Why now? Why are you finally willing to tell the truth? Maya is quiet for a long moment, watching Aunt Linda close the trunk. Because this morning, when I heard Patricia talking about how talented and lovely you are, I realized something. All of this, the planning, the stealing, the lies, it wasn't really about getting a role. What was it about? It was about proving I could beat you at something. Maya's voice cracks. And the sick thing is, I might have actually gotten Elizabeth legitimately if I'd just auditioned honestly. Patricia said I have natural talent. But instead of trusting that, I had to make it about tearing you down. The admission hangs between us. For the first time in months, Maya isn't performing, she's just my scared, screwed up little sister. Maya, I never wanted us to be competing. I know. That was all me. She wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. Jess, I can't promise we'll ever be okay again. I can't even promise that fixing this won't make things worse somehow. But I can promise that I'm done lying. Aunt Linda calls from the car. Maya, honey, we need to get going if I'm going to make it back for the dinner rush. Maya hugs me then, quick and desperate, and for a second she's 7 years old again, apologizing for breaking my favorite mug. I love you, she whispers. Even if you can't love me back right now. She climbs into the passenger seat without looking back. I watch the Camry disappear around the corner, carrying my sister toward 3 weeks of bussing tables and, hopefully, learning what honest work feels like. My phone buzzes with a text from Patricia. Jessica, I know this timing might seem strange, but we just had an unexpected opening for Elizabeth. Maya's withdrawal was very sudden, and I'd love to offer you the role if you're interested. You were always my second choice, and after thinking about it more, you might actually be my first. Let me know if you'd like to discuss it. I stare at the message for a long moment, then delete it without responding. Some roles aren't worth taking, even when they're everything you thought you wanted.